Hi, my name is Bianca. Welcome to my channel, Child of the Wind. And today I wanna talk about how hard can be write a history with majority groups without building a satiric history. And honestly, it's been a challenge because two of the most important characters of my comic are from majorities. So I have Valentine, that is indigenous person, non-binary, gender fluid, and I have a black woman. And how you can see, I don't belong to any of these groups, and it's been a challenge to write about them and be respectable. And honestly, I think most of the authors fails and put these majorities on their stories without reproduce any kind of preconceito or prejudice English. And honestly, it's been fucking hard. Well, I still finished to write everything. Basically, I need to rewrite because initially I was writing romance. Because when I start to write, I like the story, but I start to think for who will, read the book. Because it should be a book on the reverse. This was the first idea that I have for the history, but I hate it. I don't like romance. So I'm rewriting again, and honestly, it's hard. It's hard because how I can write about these groups without knowing their pain. And I really want to talk with indigenous persons and some black women because I think most of the authors fails on write them. So I want to give them a really nice representation. I want to give them the empowerment on the plot. But it's so difficult to be respectable without feeling their pain. And for example, Valentine, he's not binary, he's gender fluid. That is some ethnic groups in Brazil that I consider English married with these ideas. It's not something new, like this whole idea about gender rules. Most of them stays in Brazil and socially came from Europe. Are white and Christian values, but it doesn't mean of these ethnic groups believe them or follow them. But again, there is a huge diversity of ethnic groups in Brazil. I will put in the Americas and Asia. Can be really hard to try to write about them, but I don't know, depending on the skins, And honestly, I am the point I stopped to write, and I want to finish the plot, advance a little more, and close the history. But I realized that I need to stop and talk to these groups. So right now, I'm trying to finish without build the sides of these characters, and I really want to sit and talk with some indigenous person or some black woman because I can understand. I have empathy to understand what they socially face every day, but I don't know in deep. And I think it's different when you want to put these representations and you don't have the feeling to understand. For example, I am a woman, I am a single mom, I am bisexual, so I can write about a single mom, a queer person. I understand deeply this feeling, but when we talk about indigenous person, ethnic groups, about the pain and the struggle and living in a racist society that a black woman faces every day, I don't know. And honestly, I just realized I need to stop everything and talk to this person. So right now I finished to the history of general, and I really want to talk with these persons. Actually, I follow a lot of influencers, and I really want to talk to them, ask their opinion, ask them if the way I want to represent them is respectable. Because I think when we don't talk with these groups before we try to give a representation, sometimes we just perpetuate the violence. And this is, I think, like, I was thinking this, like, the whole week. Like, I try to write a story, give them the, how I can say in English, the protagonism. But how I will give the protagonism without asking for these persons if the way I want to represent them is respectable. Because again, it's how I individually see these groups. It doesn't mean it's how they see themselves. And honestly, this right now, like, is the biggest problem in my head about the comic. Because how I can make a comic book, give it then a respectful representation if I don't talk to them. And I think sometimes this is a thing that we feel. Like, sometimes we want to help them, but we don't listen to them. And again, like, when I stopped to think about it, I was like, fuck, how I don't think this before. Like, okay, I would think this sometimes. I do my research, I read some articles of anthropology, etc. No, I search on the academic way, but I don't listen, I don't talk, I don't know the histories. Like, I know our social perspective that we have of them. And honestly, this being something that is, fuck it, I need to see this, I need to talk, I need to understand. Because, like, freaked me out the idea that I want give them a respectful representation, and I feel with this because this is something we see often on representations. No matter the media, like, it's a book, it's a series, it's a movie, it's a comic, doesn't matter, like, we have a lot of bad representations. And, like, I tried to talk to a foreign group, and unfortunately we have also really bad representation of South Americans. And again, I can talk about this perspective, and this is a point, for example, I want to give to Alice, that is a black woman on the plot. I can talk this thing of being a foreigner, of how society perspective is different from a white woman and a Latin woman, a South American woman, etc. But I don't know how it is to live with racism. Because in Brazil, my social perspective is not that. I don't know how it is. And when I stop to think that I just decide to ignore some extremely important point about the construction of the history, I was like, fuck. This should be the first thing. But it was not. I'm sorry, it was not. But I will talk. And again, like, I don't know if you is also a great person, like, wants to write, wants to draw, etc. Guys, talk to the right persons, try to listen to histories. Like, sometimes the perception is different for the reality. Well, we all know what is racism, we all know what is discrimination, and I think we need to be more than not racist, we need to be anti-racist, take position to stop the shit. And I think it's something I want to do with the comic, but again, how I want to write about their pen without listening to them, because I was for social perspective, but I don't talk with these folks, and I think I fuck in certain way a really important point. So this was what I need to bring to the channel this week. I think I fuck a really important point, and I want to finish part of the history and talk with some influences. Unfortunately, well, I have black persons in my family. I can talk about their pen, but I don't know personally none of indigenous persons or from specific ethnic groups. And I really want to talk about, because again, for example, I want to give completely different perspective from what is the social norm, at least the Western social norm, the South American social norm. But it's respectable. I don't know, I need to talk to them, I was like, fuck, it was the first thing I should do, but I don't do. I'm sorry, I will do. And this was the struggle I have this week. Now, if you have some doubt or suggestion, if you are in these groups, please let me know. I would love to talk to you, to listen to you, to know if the way I want to represent you is a respectful way. This is really, 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 really important for me, and I would love if you can help with me. No, if you can help me with this. So, see you until next time. Ciao!